Alright, so for this portion, we're going to learn a little bit how to do a backhand for disc golf. It's probably one of the most essential shots for a right-handed or left-handed player. There's 4 main steps. So for our first step, we're going to be focusing on our steps and how we shift our body weight from our back leg up into our front leg. So that's going to be the very first important step on how you actually get a more powerful drive. Our second is going to be while you are almost moving that weight from your back foot to your front foot, you're going to be taking your arm out, and what you want to do here is when you're almost about with this X step here, is you want your body to almost be facing out this way with your arm back as far as you can, so you can get all the power from your hips and in your legs to when you come out and move that momentum from your back foot into the front foot. Our third step, that's very important, is going to be how we pretty much go from our X step out here and kind of push through and follow through. Very important to kind of have your arm out and almost like elbow a door. So you want to really get that pull through when you're about to come through and release. The fourth and final step, that's probably the most important, is going to be your follow through. When you throw a disc, you don't want to just stay here and watch it. You want to pretty much come and twist your body around it, bringing pretty much your non-dominant hand all the way around to face where you're trying to shoot. Alright, so we're going to just do a little practice shot and kind of put that all together. Alright, so for this portion, we're going to kind of learn how to throw more of a sidearm shot for disc golf. Just like backhand, it's the other essential shot you kind of need to know. So for the first couple of steps, same as backhand, we're going to have kind of a 4 little X step process, but the big difference between having a backhand and a forearm is the fact that you are going to have your wrist cocked back like the whole time until you release, and you're going to have your arm at a 90-degree angle closer to your body, just so you get a more powerful flick off the disc. So instead of coming all the way back here with a backhand and then elbowing forward, we're going to have a very simple but still complex process. So first step, we're going to have our X step, and then once I'm about to almost come towards my fairway and towards the pin, it's the same thing with having your momentum switch from your back foot into that front foot. But the whole time I'm keeping everything in one fluid motion to get all that momentum shifted to the front foot. The biggest difference is going to be how you release the disc. Kind of come over closer. We're going to have it cocked back more. So my wrist is all the way cocked back, and when I come forward, all of that is going to then just be released, and it's all in a wrist motion when you have a forearm shot. So I'll kind of do a little practice one here, put all that together and show you what it looks like. Alright, so for this portion, we're going to kind of go over a layup shot. And layup shots are probably between like 100, 150 feet. And you can obviously do a layup shot with either a forearm or a backhand. But for now, we're just going to do a forearm layup shot. And so it's almost the same process as actually throwing my forearm drives, except I am not going to have my 4-step process as I usually do. So I'm not going to be going for an X step and release. I'm going to be just standing with pretty much my body 90-degree angle to the fairway, and I'm just gonna keep my disc very close like I would with a forearm, and I'm just gonna come through and then still keep that rotation from the back leg to the front leg. Gotta still move that weight, pretty much the same with any shot for disc golf. And my process is gonna look more with starting all the way back on my back leg, keeping my 90-degree angle in here, disc back like usual, and then we're just gonna be rotating and then releasing. Same thing, follow through. You wanna come pretty much around when we're done. We don't wanna rotate fully when we're releasing. It's only for more of when we are done with throwing the disc and the disc is out of our hand. Alright, so the last shot I'm gonna kind of go over is going to be a tomahawk throw. And a tomahawk is almost like you're throwing from center field to home plate with a disc. There's not really much to go over with it. You are gonna, in a way, move the power from your back leg and kind of go forward with this disc, but most of this power and throw comes from upper body, and you're going to be like extending your whole body, opening all the way up and getting all the power within your chest and within your legs, and just chucking a disc as far as you can. About 3 or 4 steps that I personally like to take just to get all that build up. I kind of go with another X step to get the movement and weight from my back foot to my front foot, but this is more of just over a tree shot, or if you're kind of trying to scramble out of something, you go for a tomahawk to get yourself out of a position, and they usually go pretty straight down the fairway. So for this shot, you can go with the tomahawk, and here it goes. So the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be just basic putting. I think it's probably the hardest thing for disc golf, because there's so many different type of putts you can have, and there's always going to be obstacles in your way, slash either wind, you can chain out, you can hit the basket. But we're going to focus on just kind of the form and how we would go for a putting shot. I have my feet probably a good foot apart, and I do this just so I can have decent balance. And for how I'm facing the pin, I am fully facing towards the pin. There is no type of movement within any type of my upper body. It's only going to be movement with pretty much my legs, and pretty much just moving back with getting all that weight yet again on that back foot. And then when we come forward, we are moving the weight to the front foot and extending out our arm to the basket. And that is almost how I would putt. I hold the disc with a kind of a fan grip. So I have my finger on a very little lip of the disc just to get a better grip. And then I have these 3 fingers to give myself a better control of how I release and throw my disc. So this is kind of how it looks like. Disc golf isn't something that just anyone can pick up and go. There's a lot that comes with it. Just like any good speech, you have to practice and be well prepared for when you're going to be giving that speech. With disc golf, you need to be able to know your discs and know how they fly. Just like this, you got to be able to know your audience when you're speaking to someone or just a group of people. You want to know what they want to hear, and you don't want to ramble on about something they don't care about or they're not interested in. Disc golf is a lot like that, because your audience, in a way, are the discs that you use. A lot of the discs have different ways that they fly, and the owner of those discs should know how they operate and work. With playing around and beginning, you want to practice a lot of your shots and a lot of your form so you get that down and then you are well prepared to play the game. With all of this, there comes a lot of organization with how you set up your bag. You want to be able to use discs that you can use and that you're comfortable with, so then you can get full control of yourself and of your game. While you're speaking and presenting to anybody, you want to have full control of yourself and of what you're saying so that people do not think otherwise of your information or your evidence that you're bringing to the table. Disc golf is a really complex game that comes down to a couple of things. You got to be well organized in order to be successful with what you want to accomplish on the course. You need to be well prepared and practiced for when you are going to be scoring your games. You want to be able to bring the best game you can, and you're going to have to stay composed and calm. You don't want to be frustrated and taking everything out on yourself or even your discs in the course. You want to gain control of yourself just like when you are speaking so that you have a better chance of being successful and winning.